to speak. Notice to the public, if you wish to address the council, please complete the public wishing to address the council form located on the end of the counter and give it to either the chairman of the council, the chairman or the council clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words and actions, and comments shall be limited to the issue and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. All electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. Thank you. I'll now call the meeting of the Terrebonne Parish Council Budget and Finance Committee to order with an invocation led by Mr. Harding.
Heavenly Father, as we come today, oh God, we come with your divine presence within our heart, oh God. And we look at, oh God, that we must realize that we must take the rainy days as we take the sunshiny days. And because your darling son Jesus hung, bled, and died upon Calvary's cross, and that is my intercessor to you, God, we ask that you bless us in this meeting and Terrebonne Parish, and your darling son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Babin, Ms. Chauvin, Mr. Trusclair, Mr. Pleasure, Mr. Harding, Mr. Voisin, Mr. Amity, Mr. Champagne, Mr. Hamner.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you. First order of business is a motion to authorize the signing of the Certificate of Terrebonne Parish TERFA approval for CAFA First Time Homebuyers Bond Program. Moved by Mr. Harding, second by Mr. Babin. Any discussion? Mr. Harding.
Ms. Candace, I just want to make sure that's 200 million, 20 million, or 2 million.
I have to keep reminding me.
Mr. Harding, so this is something that we have, that looks like a lot of numbers, huh? A lot of zeros in there. It is 200 million. It is not anything to do with Terrebonne Parish. All we are doing is supporting it. We are not getting $200 million. We are not spending $200 million. We're just supporting this first-time home buyer.
We're part of the package.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing no further lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes 9 yeas. Item 2, resolution authorizing Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government to enter into professional services agreement with Morris P. Hebert LLC for GIS services. Moved by Mr. Babin, second by Mr. Champagne. Mr. Pledger.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question there, and it's two different items 2 and 3. What services will be based on what we have now and what we're trying to achieve? What's the differences? What we're going to gain by doing that?
Yeah, so we, as everybody knows, we have a GIS department. Brooke, our GIS manager, is just right there. If y'all have ever seen any of the GIS maps we use, Brooke has created a large portion of them, as long as Ashley, McKay, and OEP. Brooke can do about 90% of the things we need done when it comes to those GIS maps. She can import the data. Right now, she just recently, there's one a main one we're really trying to push forward with this, with MPH and T. Baker Smith, because there's 2 of them back to back for the same thing, is a dashboard that has all the work orders in the parish, so you guys don't have to go to log in or anything to see all the open work orders in your council district, closed work orders, nuisance and abatement claims. It would all be on one map for everyone. And Brooke got about 90% of it complete. The issue is now we need a programmer to do the last little bit of it. Brooke is not a programmer. In doing the research and talking to Loney, the assessor, who couldn't make it here tonight, the issue is now a programmer would, on average, the salary is $125,000 to $165,000 a year because of how specialized what they do is. So then we approached T. Baker Smith and MPH to see if they can help us out with it, because Jack is in the audience tonight, to see if they can help us at a much reduced rate for only when we would need it. We actually ran into the case where we could have really used their help for Tropical Storm Arthur, where there was some data we need. Like, if we could have had them then, it would have been a huge help pushing this forward and getting this map out to everybody for damage assessment. We unfortunately couldn't happen. Like I said, it's the 10% of Brooke's job in there that she can't do. And also, if they could help us. It is a do not exceed, so they only get paid for the services they rendered. If they don't render any services, they don't get paid. So it's only for when y'all basically giving us a set dollar amount to never go over in any instance. The biggest instance you would ever see us use this is a hurricane or any kind of disaster, when we really would need an extra set of hands with either damage assessments or building maps to then get out to FEMA and such, so forth. That's really the gist of it. I hope I explained it as well as I could. It's just to kind of help get information out to you guys, help get information out to the residents, but just make the maps. If anybody's using our GS maps, if you're tech savvy, they're very easy to use. But if you aren't, it does get a little bit more complicated. This would just allow us to make that software more user-friendly for residents and council and employees inside the building.
Okay, thanks for that sort of overview of kind of getting an understanding of how it works. But just to pick a few key points out of what you said that Brooke's able to do at least 90% of, what needs to be done. But there's that small fraction of percentage that she can't seem to get to, which is about 10%. But also we need a programmer. So that's singular to me. That's just one. Now, but we're not getting ahead, Mr. Chairman, but we're asking to do the same thing with MPH and also T. Baker Smith. Now, we do have a dollar amount on there, but if I'm looking at this saying that, okay, we need to make sure that we're, we've been here before where we say we are only going to use them if we need them, but we use them for 12 months out of the year. The last time we did that. Not only that, but we're doing the same thing. So couldn't one of them achieve the same thing? Because we have 6 months left in the year, and this is just my math, and maybe it doesn't math, but we have 6 months left in the year. They each can go 3 months. That's 6 months left in the year, and we're still at $60,000. One of them can do it for $60,000. I'm thinking, just looking at it.
I completely understand that point of view. My thought process was we have two phenomenal local companies that can both help us out in tandem and work together. I thought it was a good opportunity to not just, I don't want to use the word cherry pick here, but spread it out, the work we have across two phenomenal local companies. I thought that was fairer in the long run. And because of that, I do feel like we got a much better pricing because both companies know we're working with both of them. There was no hidden agenda here. I told both of them from the get-go, I'm going to do with you what I'm doing with them. I'm going to do with them what I'm doing with you. They both have phenomenal sets of employees who do have different skill sets when it comes to programming. I know we say like programs a singular position, but like during a hurricane, if you notice in the pay schedule, there is different positions that we could use in the event of a hurricane or if another agency needs them. A year and a half ago, Loney ran into an issue with the validation on his, help me out here, Brooke, what was the name of it? The assessor's map, where it was not validating and they got bogged down bad for probably about 2 to 3 days where Brooke and Ashley tried to figure it out. We ended up luckily, T. Baker Smith tagged in and helped us out anyways and didn't charge us for it. And it was super nice of them. They didn't have to do that. But it was because Loney couldn't do his assessments. The map kept timing out. He couldn't pull information up. He had almost gridlocked during his assessment. So having them individuals in that moment would also help. Like, it's not just gonna be the program. I know program seems like one facet of it, but there are multiple issues we've had arise with the GIS software. When I came in, the software was back maybe 6 iterations. And Brooks gotten it up to date again with the help of T. Baker Smith MPH over the last year. But they've done that just to help us out and just honestly be nice. So there's opportunities where we could use them for, where there is some heavy lifts that an extra set of hands would really help us. And this is that extra set of hands where we can only tag them in when we need them. And that was kind of the thought process of going through both of them. Many hands make light work. So we just figured 2 local companies, phenomenal what they do. It seemed like a no-brainer to me.
Okay, I get it, but also, based on the proposals, it appears that, T. Baker has, they're gonna be on a retainer, annual retainer, but MPH doesn't have that language in their proposal, so, and it's an annual retainer, so, I mean, we only have 6 months left in the year, the proposal's only to the end of 26.
It's only going to be to the end of this year, with the hopes that next year we come out and we do one for the entire year, depending on what we look like this year. But they don't. And Jack could correct me if I'm wrong. I'm most positive there is language in there. They do not get paid unless services are rendered.
Clearly, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
and that's. I mean,
Yeah, that language kind of scares me a little bit when it says retainer. That means retain. They're gonna be on,
I mean, we are technically retaining them with a set dollar amount, but with the understanding that set dollar amount, if the services aren't rendered, they never reach that set dollar amount. But they understand they can go to that dollar amount each month or each in a physical year. In my experience, I've done one like this before at a much more significant value than what you see in front of you today. And I could vouch for both of their work. You think you don't need them, or you think like, there are things like it's $60,000. That is a lot of money. I just feel like the transparency this is going to bring to the residents is more important. You guys being able to look at a work order map any time of the day is more important. The damage assessment map would have been a huge help. We did run into some roadblocks during the storm, and if we run into roadblocks then, I don't want to run into those same roadblocks if we do run into a hurricane. Knock on wood.
All right.
But I understand all your concerns.
thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Harding?
Yes, basically on the same lines of Mr. Pleasure over there, I did recognize the fact that the retainer only applies to item number 3, which we can be talking about 2 anyway. My question was why was 2 picked to do something. Sometime when you got 2, you get more bang for the buck. And $60,000 for 6 months, which is the remainder of the year. That's 6 more months prior to would have been 120. So we're actually getting them at cost that you stated.
Correct.
The value of them. So basically, that's where I am with that. But I want to know who set the price.
So I did. We looked at the budgeted amounts we had, and the amount you see there is actually less than the budgeted amounts in the professional services amongst utilities, GIS, and who's the other one? I can't remember, bro. Utilities and drainage, which is telemetry. Amongst all of those, that number was actually less than the budgeted amount that we had.
And there's 2 more things I want to add here. So we're talking no more than $10,000 a month and $30,000, right? Now, are there any other costs that could be associated with this particular agreement that is not in place here?
Not from their side. Not like
from
if we have costs, right? Like we have. So the way the GIS system works in Terrebonne Parish is the assessor, Mr. Loney, does a CEA with us, and we get a certain amount from Loney. He does a certain amount, we do a certain amount. He does the lion's share of that amount, and I quite literally mean a lion's share comes from Mr. Loney. And that was another thing that was pushing this. When I originally talked to Mr. Loney, he had mentioned that, years ago, the GIS system was in Terrebonne Parish was the system that everybody looked to do theirs, and it's not that anymore. He's starting to have issues with his stuff. We've had some issues with ours, and we've gotten them cleaned up, and now it's time to help Mr. Loney clean his up. But that's, I mean, it's just the only cost we would have associated with the GIS wouldn't extra costs would not come from anything we would do with T. Baker Smith or Morris P.A. Bear. That's just costs that we have to take, like we take on because of the GIS software we have. But a lion's share of that is paid for by the assessor's office.
Yeah, and of course, you know what I've been trying to do for the last maybe
Yeah.
5 years.
And it's,
So,
yeah,
and that's why my concern is, and how does that help the big picture? So the last part about that is the fact that for the remaining year, this is an adjustment, and that money is coming from a particular spot, right, Miss Candace? Yes.
Mr. Harding?
The question is, so we're gonna actually come up with at least $60,000, and you said that we already had something that was budgeted, right?
Yes.
And it's something we adding on to, and we accepting this?
It's already in the budget. It's not needed in those accounts, so we're able to just use it as is. So we don't have to do a budget amendment or add anything to it.
That was my concern, whether they make an
And
adjustment.
I will say this: the 10,000 thought process was per month was, what if we run into another event like an Arthur, or we run into another event like an Ida? I do. There's a part of me that wants a quote unquote safety net. If we need these guys, do we have the time to come to council and get everything we need done real fast? Or do we have, like, it seems to get real, whereas I know, hey, I have up to 10,000 that we can get this done. It's budgeted already. That money is quite literally just sitting there because we've been working on fixing the GIS software. We're finally in that second leg of this GIS race of trying to fix these maps and getting them out to the public.
Okay, bring on talk then, right? And so if we get a hurricane, right, and we actually have to collect data, and in collecting that data, we incur some expenses. In the past, we get 100% recovery of our money. We get 90-10, we get 80-10. So if that devastation hits us, wouldn't we actually be reimbursed part of what we actually trying to get?
We would. We would,
It's
which is
for-
again the other thought process is if we ever get into that moment of that 10,000, let's say the refund is 75%. 75% would be spent because it's directly on recovery for Ida. 75% of that 10 grand would be reimbursed by FEMA.
Okay.
So it is that was the thought process behind that dollar amount, and then just again having that safety net to help us out if we ever needed them in a bind. Right, that 10,000 is more of like if we need help in a bind. Every day, once a month, I don't see that being anywhere near that amount. And if we ever do, I'll gladly come up here and take my lashings.
Okay, I'm good.
Ms. Mulder?
I have one comment on the FEMA reimbursement. That is another reason why we need the council's approval for us to sign it. So that way we don't have to fight FEMA and they will reimburse us. If we try to do it in the midst of the storm, that's when start of those arguments and stuff with FEMA and fighting with them for 3, 4, 5 years comes into play. So if we can get this approved and get it signed, it would help with any type of reimbursement for any type of emergency work they're doing for us.
Ms. Chauvin?
Okay. Robbie, when you talked about the dashboard with the work orders, I thought that was something that was going to be with MGO Connect. Is this all going to connect together?
So yes, we've already done the API. We've actually already completed that portion. So that API now links all of the MGO data to this dashboard. It works. It is not very easy to navigate. Again, and that's what the issue Brooke runs into of being able to program the dashboard to have drop downs, right? So it makes it easier to if you just want to look at nuisance and abatement claims in District 8. If you only want to look at tall grass complaints in District 1. If you only want to look at open permits for generators, right? Because there's got a lot of gas line issues in District 7. You'll be able to search all of that data much easier than what we can now. And that's the main thing we're trying to do with this.
Okay, so both companies are programmers that we're looking at.
They both
taking out.
have some. So we have more than just programming in there in
Okay.
case there's ever an issue like a storm where we need stuff.
Right.
I didn't want to just do just the programming. Again, safety net, want to prepare for what I don't need in case I do
So
need
it's
it.
larger than
It
just
is much
programming.
larger.
Okay.
But the main goal is for this programmer
Okay.
for stuff that we need help with.
I just wanted to make sure that I understood how MGO Connect and like the GIS were gonna work, but thank
No
you.
problem.
Mr. Pledger?
Hey, thanks, Mr. Chair. In the explaining, so it sounds like we just want to add some stuff to the system already, but we're hiring two entities to do.
Yeah.
We get, I'm thinking, this is just my way of looking at it. If we need some updates to our system, we need something done, MPH, T. Baker Smith, this is what we need, bill us for it, we're done. I mean, we're gonna, how long is it gonna take us to do this, to get accomplished what we're trying to accomplish? How long it takes?
It
6
really-
months, and then hopefully, like you said, it's might go into next year, that type of thing, so.
If this goes the way I believe it will go, we're talking about getting to the point where, linking the outage map to a cell phone provider to send text messages out to residents. Like, it's not just this one thing, like, so that when there is an outage inside the city limits, it'll automatically send a text message, you've been affected, based on this GIS map through a polygon. It's very convoluted of how it works, but there's more than just this one thing. The dashboard is the main beast in front of us that we want to take control of and finish and get out. That's the main goal of this. But there's so much more it could do. I mean, it can get to the point where I don't know if anybody's looked at our GIS map. Brooks done one that if you are a new resident or a resident who moved into a different district, you go in and you punch in your address, it tells you where you vote, tells you who your state rep is, your council member, what their phone number, their email, their senator, your federal senator, your federal delegation. It tells you your voting precinct. It tells you which school bus route you're on, which school your kid goes to, right? Like, that's the level we're trying to take this with these maps to help out residents, right? Because that's the main goal at the end of the day, right? Just trying to make information just more transparent and more easily accessible for anyone. I always have this in IT. I always have this saying: if you do something, and an 80-year-old grandma who just lost her family needs to figure out where she needs to vote, it should be super easy for her to find out. If she can't make a phone call and do it, or if she can't just go to the website and go, where do I vote? And it pulls up, she could just put in her address and it'll tell her everything she needs to know. That's who I'm really doing this for, is like those individuals who need that help.
I get it totally. How long does it take for us to build a program to get it to where we need to be?
I don't know. I think we'll have to, circle up if this does get approved. Maybe 2 to 3 months on this one map. I hope we can do more with them, which is why you see two. I think they both bring very good ideas to the table and phenomenal insights. It's just also to have someone to help us out. I mean, I could see this going on for probably 5 or 6 years until we get these maps where we, as a whole, because, right, it's not just us. We're talking about SCADA systems, stuff for Loney, stuff for if the levy district ever needed any help, stuff for the school district. One of the ones Brooke did last year was they changed school bus routes. We helped them out with that. I mean, could we, if we did just this one map, maybe 3 months and we finish, and we wouldn't use them anymore, but I would hope we wouldn't, with all the progress we made, I would hope we wouldn't stop at this one map.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Amity?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So from what I'm hearing, Robbie, it sounds like you have the engine built, you have all the data points, you're just looking for a front page to land them on?
Yeah, so basically, talking about the way I explain it is, Brooke built us a house. It's beautiful. It's nice. It's built. She got the drywall up, the counters up. I need somebody to come in and paint it and put the floors down and put some curtains up, make it look pretty. And unfortunately, that's not Brooke's forte. She did 95% of it, 90% of it. I just need someone to come and do that 50%, that 5%, 10%. And the issue is, we cannot afford to pay someone $125,000, $165,000 a year.
Yeah,
But I feel like I can't afford. We have this more than this amount budgeted already, and I feel like we can really use this help.
yeah. So what it sounds like to me is you're just bringing in some additional expertise to
Yes,
get
sir.
you across the finish line.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, seeing no further lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes, 8 yeas. Item 3 is a resolution authorizing Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government to enter into professional services agreement with T. Baker Smith LLC for GIS services. Moved by Mr. Babin, second by Mr. Champagne. Ms. Chauvin?
Robbie, can you come back up? I want to ask you, you talked about the school board, because you know the stickler with me, and the assessor's office. Are they gonna put money into this?
The assessor already does.
He's already does.
Yeah, the lion's
School
share of
board?
it. Once we get some of this up, we can approach them and look at it. I don't know if they put anything now. What we did for them last year was it was kind of like us opening the door of like, hey, we should
I
look
get
at
it.
this. They had an issue that we saw.
Mhm.
We saw that we could solve that need for them, and we did it without asking them for anything.
Correct.
We just did it because it was a government agency. We're a government agency. We felt like we
Mhm.
should have helped them out in that moment, so we did.
Okay, but going forward,
Yeah, if all of this goes forward, we'll start once we we need to fix our stuff first.
right.
Once
No,
we fix our stuff, we'll
absolutely.
look at everybody else.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Oops. Well, I'm gonna put your light back on. Put your light back on, Ms. Malden. Ms. Malden?
Thanks.
Ms.
Ms. Jovan, just to go a little bit further with that, everyone any public entity who collects a property millage, part of that millage rate does go towards the GIS system. So that's part of why we
That
were
is true.
able to have
That is
the budgeted amounts. So everybody that is a part of property tax does pay a part towards the GIS system.
Thank you, Candace, because I completely forgot about that.
Okay, seeing no further lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes 8 yeas. Item 4, resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government and First Responders of Terrebonne Parish Incorporated to approve the waiver of fees for the use of the Barry P. Bonvillain Civic Center for the 4th Annual Hero Fest on September 18, 19, 20, and 26. Moved by Mr. Babin, second by Mr. Harding. Okay. Moved by Ms. Chauvin? No, moved by Mr. Babin, seconded by Ms. Chauvin. And seeing no lights, members vote your machine. And motion passes 9 yeas. And before I take a light, I do want to recognize the chief of police and the sheriff. Welcome. Did y'all want to say anything about this this item? You don't have to say too much. It passed.
No, Travis Terrio, Police Chief, Sheriff Tim Saunier. No, other than to thank y'all for the working relationship we have with Parish Council, and Parish Administration and the Civic Center on this. We've had a successful 3 years. We look to continue to grow. We brought in a lot of nonprofits for a great cause. This year, we're gonna be incorporating a religious night with no alcohol to make sure we give everybody the opportunity to come out and visit and enjoy the festivities. But we just really want to thank y'all for everything.
Again, Sheriff, thank y'all. I really appreciate it. This has been a long dream. We've been able to do it. But what festival do we have that allows a platform for every nonprofit in Terrebonne Parish to raise money for their cause? And I said it last year. We call it Hero Fest, not just because of first responders and law enforcement. It's every single nonprofit that tries to do good in our parish and our people. They're all heroes. And this allows an opportunity for our community to see what's out there. Let them advertise, raise money for their cause, but more importantly, bring the community together. So bottom of my heart, thank y'all. I really appreciate the support. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Mr. Babin?
Yeah, Tim and Travis, thank y'all very much for what you do. Do y'all have any kind of idea on how much, in terms of dollars, you've given back in the 3 years that you've done? I know I'm not kind of putting you on the spot, but
Yeah, so I know right now we're well over $100,000. We still have money that's earmarked to go out. I can tell you, just in the past year, we've helped out several cancer patients. We've had first responders whose homes caught on fire. We've had first responders that had weather events that they needed just help getting back on their feet. We've paid for several funerals this year for first responders that have died in tragedy, and the families just didn't know how they were going to keep moving forward. And we were able to have these funds readily available, quickly move, and within hours of the event happening, we were able to give them some peace of mind knowing that we were there with them. And I can tell you that we were committed to keeping the money in Terrebonne Parish and helping out first responders in Terrebonne Parish. I can tell you that all of our money is staying in Terrebonne Parish.
well, that's what I wanted to hear. I didn't care about the dollar amount. The fact that where you're going with the money is what's important in this whole situation, because it goes to people who, in fact, need it. All right, and that's what this is all about. So thank you all very much for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, item 5 is a resolution to authorize the parish president and/or his designee to execute a contract with Tyler Technologies to implement a comprehensive enterprise resource planning system. Moved by Mr. Babin. Second by Mr. Champagne. Mr. Harding.
Yes, sir. $2.7 million or 2,600,000 and some odd.
2.698
Okay. All right. There's no bidding process for this?
is through a Sourcewell, which is a state contract.
It's a state contract? Okay. Sometimes, I guess, I had to look them up myself, you know what I mean? And sometimes we have people that come and we have department heads that come, but I'm looking at $2.7 million. And I had to look them up myself. And somehow or another, we could have had something to show that, hey, like, we got $2.7 million, and these are the people we're going to get a contract with. Just something simple that I would not just want for me, but I want to make a presentation to the people to say, hey, look what we got, a shining star. So I'm just putting that out there like that, and perhaps when we're going down the line, when we actually spending this kind of money, we should give more information about the people that we're dealing with.
So I do have a ton of information. If you would like me to get started on my spiel here.
Okay, well,
Yeah. So as you are aware, y'all did $2.5 million budget from the bond earlier this year, but then after doing the research as an accounting software, we realized we can get an entire ERP, which is a enterprise resource planning software, which is basically you look at everything you do as an agency and put it under one platform. They were the only ones who could do it. So roughly the 2.69 you see in the agreement is a 3-year span. So you don't spend the 2.69 in year one. We're gonna spend one in you can spend 1.5 in year one, and that's a 3 years of SaaS, which is a service agreement for the software. That's gonna cover the accounting software, accounting, accounts payable, budgeting, capital assets, cash management, e-procurement, project and grant accounting, purchasing, accounts receivable, cashiering, general billing, enterprise forms, vendor access, executive insights and reporting, a transparency portal, payroll, HR, a talent portal, time and attendance, and a recruiting portal, utility billing meter interface, resident access online for an outage map, and a resident access portal, a work order system for bill pay and licensing, which they do not have now, which was heavily requested. Go ahead.
okay, so we're looking at this, and we just finished discussing item 2 and 3 in this particular committee. How does all of this, or all of that, fits together to, I guess, be productive and save money?
Yes, correct. It will save us a ton of money in the end. We spent about me and Brian figured it out today. We spent about $980,000 a year in our AS400 system. This will only be about $500,000 a year. So you will see that it is 2.69. The parish will, the funds for the $198 million, $198,000 will actually come from the cost we will save from shutting down the AS400 system, which is roughly about $400,000 that we'll save on top of the yearly agreement. So within 6 to 7 years, we'd figured out of shutting down the AS400 system, we'll pay back. We'll save that entire amount that we spent on the accounting software to begin with. So the parish will recoup every dollar of that, and then save there forward afterwards about $400,000 a year, about $500,000 a year from sunsetting this old AS400 system software. So you will save a ton of money because we won't have to manage servers anymore, which is a huge deal. Also, we did find out, and through this process, the AS400 is going to be sunsetted in 3 years. So we met with a vendor to see what that looked like. What happens if the AS400 system sunsets and they get rid of it? They don't write security for it. They don't write updates for it. They barely write updates now. We just had to spend $98,000 on an update this year, randomly. Hey, y'all got to update it or we won't support it no more. Cough up 98 grand. And we had no choice. Or the accounting software wasn't going to run. And that happens often. I only have one individual in Louisiana who will continue to do work on our AS400 system. He is now 72, because when we started this conversation, he was 71. He has requested, more like begged, us to get rid of it so he can retire. He's the only person at his company that can still do this work, and he no longer wants to. But he has grown a very good professional relationship with Brian and has continued to do that because of their relationship, and he's continued to help. If we decided we weren't going to do this tonight, that means I will have to spend probably in the next 3 months, I'll be back up here to ask you for probably $1 million to 1.5 to buy just server equipment so that we can build a new accounting software on the new system within the next 3 years, because I won't be able to take accounting off the servers they have now to rebuild one on the new one, because that means they would have to do everything on paper. And so that means I have to pay the $800,000, $900,000 a year we pay now, plus the 1.5 I'm going to need, 1 to 1.5 for the new stuff, plus the software and service for that stuff. So I'll end up costing the parish over the next 3 years $2 to $6 million, just because this AS400 system was out in '88. It's sunsetted. The last severe upgrade the parish did was 18. We really need to buy new equipment now. But when we did the pricing out for everything to look at refurbishing these servers so we could try to get another 8 to 10 years out of them, the hardware on it has quadrupled in price. Hard drives we were getting 6 months ago for $80. Today we paid $225 for 10 of them for HPD. 10 of them for the price of what I used to get 30 to 40. We're in a rock and a hard place. We really are. And I feel like this is our only way out without costing the taxpayers hundreds, if not millions of dollars. This will save us money in the long run. Not only myself and my team, but all of Crystal's team, a lot of Candace's team have done a lot of research on this, spent a lot of man hours. I myself probably have 300 to 400. I have read through this entire 50-page agreement probably more than what I've ever done on a college paper before. I've read every nook and cranny. Also, one of the big things was they agreed to some terms that they've never agreed to before. It's a maximum of 2.69. They will not exceed that amount at all. But if we do more of the work, which I do see us doing, the price will come down. Now, I'm not saying it will. I do believe we can do more work to reduce the cost of that 2.69 to below 2.5. And I'm going to hustle because I believe the taxpayers deserve it, because this is a lot of their money, right? And I don't take it lightly. And I haven't taken any part of this lightly. This has cost me more stress and sleepless nights than I think I've probably had in my entire career in government, just simply because I think the residents deserve it. The transparency portal alone is something I think they deserve, to be able to look at the budget parishes around us have it. When we started doing this process, I called the school board here. Hey, who do y'all use? We use Tyler Tech. I already know Lafourche uses Tyler Tech because that's who we put in place over there. Kenna uses them. Jefferson Parish uses them. Lafayette Parish uses them. Shreveport uses them. 64 government agencies in Louisiana. Government agencies, police departments, fire departments, school boards in this state use it. Everyone I talked to said this is the only person to go to if you looking to replace everything. Because we're not replacing one thing. I'm replacing all of those softwares that cost this parish just in. I mean, we pay a rack lease for our server. That's 60 grand a year to lease a rack that holds your server. Look, if you go in there, that little thing in there, 60 grand a year. The internet fee for the direct line we need for these servers, because it's so slow, because it can't run fast enough, is $65,000 a year. 65, because you need a dedicated line to keep your software safe. Our line can't be on anybody else's line because it's critical infrastructure and critical data. So we have to buy a specialized line just for that. The dock path, the VMware, the HPE, the RVI, that's another $350,000 a year. The prices add and add and add and add because it's old equipment. I mean, it's some of this stuff has been here since Brian started 26 years ago. Before Brian was here 26 years ago. And look, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I probably would have never dug into this if my team wasn't struggling so much. I can tell you right now, 6 a.m. every day, y'all go to City Hall. You see that man right there? He gonna be changing tapes to keep that thing running so that when Candace and all can come in, they could do their job. Then there's also the issue if we have a hurricane. Anybody knows what happened? We have a hurricane right now with our accounting team. They're not doing their job. They can't. They're doing it on paper because the system's down, because we don't have power with this old service. This one, cloud-based. Hurricane comes through, Candace and her team, we call Lafourche. If they didn't get hit, St. Mary, Assumption, St. Charles, anyone's around us, hey, we need a place to put up our team so they can continue to work. They go up there, they continue to work because it's cloud-based. I don't need those servers to run for that anymore. Candace can still do her job. FEMA reporting, all she got to do is go in there and say, hey, I want to pull everybody who worked for this date to this date how FEMA needs it to be reported. It pulls a report exactly how FEMA needs it to approve it. Candace, if I'm not mistaken, y'all still trying to get some of that stuff approved? Still to this day. How long we out since Ida? And they still don't have everything approved for FEMA. Look, guys, I understand it's a lot of money. But as a good mentor of mine once said, Mike Fazy, it costs way more to do it right twice. So I'm going to do it right once and be finished. I understand y'all got some concerns. I'm sitting up here. I'll take them. Whatever issue you got, I'm 90% positive I can clear your head on it. I'll take any question y'all have.
Ms. Molded?
I'll go ahead and wait till the other questions come.
Okay. Are you done, Mr.
Good.
Harding? Mr. Pledger?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know Candace has been a long time coming for her. She needs it. She wants it. I get it. And I'm all for us upgrading and moving forward with technology and all that. But oftentimes we kind of miss it where it's easy for us to, we can talk about our good points, but sometimes we're hesitant or reluctant to talk about some of the downside to some things. And my question is, based on what I read and what I saw, it's going to cost our folks too as well by putting this in place. And what I mean by that are like the fees and things like that, because they're not going to do this for nothing. And I'm sure it's going to, make our folks, our employees here at the parish, it's going to make their job a lot easier, which that's what we want.
Correct.
Up to date, easier opportunities for them to be, to focus on other things. But at the same time, those small fees, say for instance, if they're doing the billing, we're inputting all that data, but if they're sending that bill out, that's where that little line item is going to come on the bottom of there and help me understand. Will they have a
So-
minimum max charge of maybe?
So that agreement you see,
Mhm.
not a dollar more will be spent.
It doesn't matter. It's costing our taxpayers. That's what I don't agree with.
Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah, I agree, but I mean, I could cause the taxpayers 2.5 this year that I know we can recoup from getting rid of sunsetting this stuff, or I can cost them 6 million, which is way more. And I personally, I'm not gonna do that. I just, I understand very acutely as an individual who came from a oil field family that somebody out there has to get up at 4 a.m. and truck it to whatever port or an hour and a half away from their family to do probably one of the most dangerous jobs in Louisiana. So I can sit up here in my nice shirt in an air conditioned office and do this job. So I take this more serious than anything I probably take for my job. There's not many things I consider myself good at in this world. I consider myself to be a good dad, a good husband. I consider myself to be great at this because of how much time I take. Because I understand. I was raised by my grandparents. Understand what it takes. It takes somebody much more to get up morning after morning after morning to do a job they don't want to do. So I can get up here and do a job I do want to do. And if that means I got to sit up here and read this agreement 600 times and stay up till 2 a.m. to make sure this thing's right, to cost the taxpayers the least amount of money possible over the next 6 years, and that's what I've done here. That's what my team has done here. That's what Crystal's team has done here. That's what Candace's team has done here. We spent a lot of time and energy on this, more than what I could probably ever fathom and put in words. And I completely understand your point of view, and I completely understand where you're coming from. And it's very valid because you're doing the same thing. You're putting the needs of the residents ahead of anything else. And I respect that completely. All I can ask you is to, if you don't want to take me at my word, take my team at theirs. I got a phenomenal team. I will gladly put them against anybody. I've been on a couple of teams in government, and this one's lights out. I think we need to move forward with this. But I also understand if y'all have any reservations, which is, again, why I'm up here.
Yeah, and I just want to, I'm only being transparent 100% here.
Yeah.
Because often, I mean, like I said, we talk about the good, but let's prepare the folks for, and it's small, it's
You're not going to see any extra fees. Tyler Tech will not charge us because it's written into the contract. What's in here is all they will charge us, not a dollar more. There's no fee. You're paying fees now. Okay, so let's say you send the bill out, right? Let's say licensing and bill pay needs to send a bill out to an individual. It's a paper bill. We're paying that now. We're paying drastically more because we pay for the software, which is the AS400 system, to develop the bill, then take that data to go into a different software that needs to create the bill, that goes into a different software to print the bill and mail the bill. Whereas this one, it's one software that does it all. I'm paying roughly, what was DocPath last year? 65 grand? 45 grand? 65 grand for DocPath. Just one thing, just to send bills out for utilities. That's it. That's all it does. It's one software that does one minuscule job that is something that is built in to this software, which I think is very important. There's a lot of auxiliary softwares we have that we would be able to sunset and get rid of and save. And that's where most of this cost savings is going to come from, is we have had to proverbially make Frankenstein's monster of tech to make this work. It's the system's old. It doesn't work like it used to. So a lot of those auxiliary costs are going to go away. We'll end up saving money in the long run because we won't have those extra softwares and those extra fees. I mean, just for Candace, no one else to remote into the AS400 system when she's not here is roughly about $2,000 a year. Just Candace. She's not the only one that has to do it. Crystal has to do it. Jason has to do it. Noah has to do it. Like, a lot of different employees have to do it for their data. And that's not including all of accounting, all of purchasing, some of utilities. Like, it's, when we sat down, and I sat down with Brian and went through this, it was, personally, I don't know how y'all made it this far. I really don't. But without having more problems. It's miraculous what y'all did. It's phenomenal. I gotta give credit to those development team. They did a bang up job making this work. A bang up job. But it is time for it to go away.
And I don't disagree one at all. I think it needs to go away, and I think Candace and those folks, they need to get some help, and when I say help, some modernization to their systems and all that. But me being a negotiator by trade, I would suggest, or if I can ask or recommend to you guys, a lot of the things that I read about Tyler Technologies with all the things, the junk fees that they're prone to do, and a lot of the class action lawsuits they have. Let's use that as a tool for us to be able to, if you're that confident in them, I'm good, I'm totally fine. But let's use those not so favorable moments for them. That's nationwide. Now it's from California to Illinois to Michigan to the East Coast where they have a lot of litigation going on right now. Let's go back to them and say, well, hey, I see you have all this stuff that's going on. Could you you said that they did a lot of things that they are doing something specifically that they haven't ever done before. So let's go back to them and say, based on what you've done this for us now, something you've never done before, can you insure us in some form of fashion and put it in a document, and you can assure us that we won't have these same hiccups that you're having across the nation, because you also mentioned that ERP is only offered by Tyler. It's not. Oracle NetSuite, I've worked on that before, so I know that's another viable option for us too. Oracle's going to cost us probably $2 million more, but at the same time, they do offer that. So all I'm asking is, please just let's use their not so favorable moments to be a negotiating tool for us, and that'll give us full reason to not have to use this.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
You want to go yet? Or you want to let Kevin go? Mr. Champagne?
Yeah, so I just had a question. So there's $1 million for, like, I guess the hardware,
Implementation.
and then the 540,000 a year, and that's for 3 years.
Correct.
Is there an ability to lock in that price, or is that
We'll be locked in for 3 years.
right?
We'll be
But
locked in for
after
3
that,
years.
they could raise that fee, basically.
They could, and I will say I have not seen them raise it drastically at other parishes. Everyone I've talked to, because I've talked to a lot of different parishes before I did it. When they gave me the list of parishes, if I knew them, I was calling them, and I called 10 different ones, and they said they've seen maybe a 5% bump over the 10 years. But that's usually, again, as you see in data centers come up, we're seeing those costs rise, and we're seeing way more than a 5% jump on what we're purchasing.
And but the savings is from that you're talking that comes in the back end of years is that because we're gonna be paying less?
Yes, we're gonna
So
pay
that
about
recurring
$480,000
than we're
a
currently
year. Correct.
paying. Okay.
Because we have a lot of, like I said, we have a lot of different softwares to make one software work, and we'd be able to get rid of those.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Rami.
Thank you.
Mr. Babin?
Yeah, Robbie, thank you for the explanation and thank you for the teams that put this together, okay? I mean, we have an antiquated system. There's no two ways about it. You said it a number of times. It's gonna sunset in a few years. If we don't do something now, we're gonna be behind the 8 ball in a couple of years. This is coming from the $25 million bond issue that we approved for our share of the power plant. This is money that originally it was said, and I was one of them that said it, should we be borrowing money for 30 years on a system that might be outdated in 30 years? Well, it seems like from what I'm hearing from you, this system builds on itself,
Correct.
okay? And what cost doesn't go up after 3 years? Everything we experience today does. But again, I think we need to move forward with this. You did an excellent job of bringing it to us and a good job of explaining it today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Malden?
Thank you, sir. So, and Mr. Pledger said it wonderfully. Yes, I am excited to have this. And I think when we all spoke about it, when we started talking about the budget amendment, I kind of begged and pleaded with a lot of you guys about it. But when we started the process, I didn't realize how much was going to be included and how much it was going to benefit more than just accounting. So we did have several conversations with other governmental entities. Robbie did kind of say that. I reached out to a few personally, just having conversations. Who to use? Who do you like? We had several demos with the Tyler Tech people on the HR side of it, which I think they call a talent portal. On the accounting side of it, we've done a lot of our due diligence in the beginning to make sure that it is going to fit and it is going to fall into play. Mr. Harding, I think you were asking earlier about the 2 items that were approved, and do we need to approve those if this is what's happening? That's going to help us build a little bit more of the background of it and help us to be able to fully put it into the system and implement it a whole lot easier. It's not just accounting, we said that, the HR side of it, the payroll side of it, the budget side of it. You know, it's a big thing. Currently, Mr. Pledger, we are paying for all of our bills to be printed, as well as the doc path that Robbie had mentioned. So some of that is still gonna, be in there, but it shouldn't be an increase to the end users like we hope. I think the biggest thing, there's 2 big things that will help us significantly, and that is for hurricanes. I'm still fighting for Ida because they don't like the way things are pulled. It's data that I got to go find. If you remember, our accounting department was over at the old IT office for probably 6 months because we couldn't get back here. Paperwork gets lost, everything gets moved. It's just not fun. We tried to pay our employees as quickly as possible as we could right after Ida, but with the system down, we lost a generator. It was kind of hard. So this hopefully will allow us to be able to do that and hopefully allow us to start recouping. And it'll also allow us to turn into FEMA our damage assessment a whole lot quicker and get a whole lot more money than what we are right now. And then the other side of it is going to be the budget. It has taken us about a month to get our budget work papers prepared to send out to the directors for them to start their budget because it's all done pretty much by hand. And formulas are calculated and it's human error and user error and all of that. With this, it's going to shorten that process as well as make it a lot more transparent to the public. So I'm just giving my spill because I do want it, but I also want you to know it's not just accounting. I am a little selfish because I do want it, but it is going to help, I think, the parish overall once we can start getting everything that is implemented for it. And that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Trustclair.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I brought this up during the bond discussion when we did it, and I'm gonna bring it up again. And when Robbie, you read off, a lot of the capabilities of this program, and it sounded like you had some more to read. You didn't read them all. So from what, that's why it sounded like you liked it.
Yeah, I do have more.
So it looks like, we definitely getting, or we get the Rolls Royce.
Yes.
Okay, my question is, and was then, did we look at anything that might be maybe in the Lincoln category rather than a Rolls Royce?
So I did. Where it came into play was I was getting a Rolls Royce for the price of a Lincoln. And that's where I was like, okay.
Well, we don't have to compare that to.
Well, I mean, if you compare everything else I've looked at, we needed auxiliary softwares to make it work. So we had to basically, hey, we sell this for accounting and budgeting, but if you want to include all your fast approvals, so like let's say you want to do raises, or if you want to, for instance, this software, if a council came to administration and said, hey, we want to do a raise, but we want to do $1 for everybody under $15, 50 cents for everybody from $25 to $15, and 25 cents for everybody from $45 to $25. The time that would take for us to pull that would probably be days into Excel spreadsheets and then days calculating those Excel spreadsheets. Whereas this software, it does it all in one, but the other software I had looked at, I needed to get a different software that had an API into that software that pulled the data out to do the exact same thing. And the price of those 2 softwares, when you calculated everything, was way more expensive than going with one ERP and going with everything under one umbrella. I completely understand the
And
you guys didn't.
I'm not here saying that,
Yeah.
I don't believe what you're saying, but we were never shown those.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, right? It's hard for y'all weren't in those
I wasn't there.
calls.
I never saw it. So,
Yeah.
you know, my question was, I mean, this looks like it's
We
the
we
road
definitely
was
did.
something, but
We definitely did our due diligence. Just accounting probably sat on 6 different demos alone. Just accounting, and that wasn't including the ones me and Candace sat on alone. So just just accounting probably had 6 by herself. Then the ones me and Candace on. Then the ones me and Crystal had. Crystal, you won 3. Licensing and bill pay. When they saw it, one of the biggest things for them was they have a work order system to track the work orders for utilities. They don't have that now. And that's something they've built. There's a bunch of stuff that they really need now that they wanted us to build. But the fact remained that it was going to cost so much money to build it because I was going to have to get 1, 2, 3, 4 different softwares to make them all talk to each other. This was the only place that I found for a government agency that did everything we needed it to do the way we needed it to do. To calculate HPD, a lot of people don't know this. The way HPD gets paid, the way HFD gets paid, and the way the parish get paid is 3 separate ways. I don't know if y'all know that. But so you have to do the calculation HFD one way, HPD another, the parish another. And what happened was the software we have now can't do that. Any software I found, I needed to get one for HPD, one for HFD, and one for us. This one, it's a key code. If you're a firefighter, it'll calculate your time because some of them work like 6 to 6, 6 to 6. Like they work different times. So HPD and HFD. This had things that nothing else I could find from doing demos had.
okay, so I guess that's my next question. I guess you just answered it because, you know, if this program is so good, it's so comprehensive, I just find it funny that they're the only people in the world that's got it. You know, we have nothing to, nobody to compare to.
I found nobody that could do it to the level of them.
That-
Right? Like there's
that goes
nobody
back to my
comes
first question.
even close, especially
That
for
goes
the
back to my
price.
first question.
Right? Like because you
Do
had
we need this level?
I believe we do.
Okay.
Hey, look, I understand what you're saying. It is this level.
And if we
but the
come to
price
this
is
level,
here.
if we come to this level, what do we lose? What do we give up? And how much cost savings do
So
we have?
look, for Oracle, for instance, because that is one we looked at. Looked at it very shortly and moved on. Because it was here. But the price was here. Everyone else we looked at
Well,
was
that's a no-brainer.
the price. They were here, and Tyler Tech was here, but the price was here. Tyler Tech was the only one that I would consider. They were here, and their price was right here.
And then
What you were paying for and what you were getting is 2 drastically
then,
different things.
Like I said, evidently I didn't do the research that Mr. Pledger did, but he named some situations that this company is involved in at this point. Have you did any research?
Yeah,
on
so
that?
I did look into their lawsuits. Their lawsuits came from a side of their ERP that they use for more local, like not government agencies. For I can't think of the name of it right now. Private businesses. That's the side they were getting hit up on. But those are the teams that run both those are 2 completely different teams. So the team that runs government is not the same team that runs private. That private team, I don't disagree. They have run into some issues. I've looked at every single one of them. I think it was probably close to, over the last 30 years, probably close to 6 lawsuits. And then there was some data laws change. That was one of their lawsuits. Data law changed. They didn't update the protection on their cybersecurity insurance fast enough. They got sued for it, which rightfully so. They didn't do it right, but they've then rectified that. And all of these issues that I saw online, I brought up to Gary, and he gave me, which is the guy we talked of all of this, and he got his VP on, and they showed me where they rectified every situation they had run into, and that it was mostly on the private side. There was a couple of times they got hit with some cybersecurity stuff, which is cybersecurity's fickle. You have to keep an eye on the laws and as they change, because they change. Sometimes they'll change at the drop of the hat. So that's where a lot of those lawsuits came from. But I did look at all the ones I found.
Mr. Pledger?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Candace, if anybody deserves upgrading or more technology in their department, it's you, right? And that's just from what I've seen and what you do, plus the understanding of what sort of an understanding of what you do. And I'm glad to see that the project timeline, you're in the first year. So hopefully her department, Ms. Candace's department, being in the first year of this timeline, it'll be a good gauge to know what's gonna happen towards the end, which is projected to be fully in place January of '28. Okay?
Correct.
And there again, that's where the negotiating should come into play, because I didn't read out of the 50, almost 60 pages, I didn't read anything that held Tyler Technologies responsible for not meeting that timeline. But I did read in the research about them that they've had some hiccups when it came to providing sustainable timelines for their contracts that they've put in place. So again, let's go,
So-
if we can,
If you actually go through, I think it's 6.1.
Hmm?
I believe. Let me go. Hold on. Let me pull it up. 6.1. This is a plan that I fine toothed with them that explains every coordination stage, who's responsible for what. I want to say maybe 9 pages, 10 pages. This is 1425. It's still going. 30. It's still going. 32. It's still going. 33. I want to say close to 20 pages that I went through with them and said, I want these things. This is how we were going to do it. This is the person who's going to be responsible for this. I am acutely aware that we or will be responsible for 70%. If we do fall behind, it will be our fault. I got no problem saying that because we have the data. Our
right,
team has the data. So this outlines, if you read it, this outlines who is responsible for what, whether they are to gather information, if they're so you see there's a key matrix, right? It says responsible or
Racing,
accountable. And I have, if you read through it, it shows Tyler and exactly what they're responsible for. And this is all in the backup, if anybody wants to read it. And then the parish. We're blue. They're green. Executive sponsor, steering committee, project manager, functional leads, change management leads, subject matter experts. I have a person in my department that handles each one of these roles. Just like I know who at Tyler Tech handles each one of these roles. I've already warned them. I'm probably going to hold them accountable more than they've ever been held accountable in their life. Because again, I do not believe this can fail. And I got no problem putting this on my shoulders at the end of the day.
absolutely.
I hope that answers your question and sets you at ease a little bit, that we've gone through this level of detail. We've gone to the detail where I have the explanation of who the implementation manager is and exactly what they do, the resource management and exactly what they do, the planning and exactly what they do. All of that's in here. Every single detail of who's responsible for what is in here. We
Right.
went to that level because I thought it was deserved.
Yeah.
I thought it was something we needed, and at the end of the day, I do this for the residents, and I felt like that's what they deserved of me, to go to this level, and I did. And you can ask President Bergeron. I've told him multiple times, my focus is this software, and the software is my focus,
Right.
and this is what I go for.
Absolutely. And listen, like I said, it's only just to give a little bit of some pointers on, I mean, software and
I appreciate it.
and all that is your forte, but negotiating, that's more mine. And
Yeah.
this is an opportunity
I
for us
appreciate the
to,
insight.
you can let them know, hey,
Yep.
look, I've read the reviews. And if they sat and they told you, also one last thing I'll share with you, if their vice president sat and told you that that was on the private side, that's another negotiating tool, because they, in Illinois is where they had their biggest governmental, mishap, where their systems were sending people to jail that wasn't supposed to be going to jail. So you make sure you go back to them and say, hey, one of the council members told me that this happened. Is that true? Again, that's a negotiating tool to make to make us a little bit more
Yeah,
lean on
I appreciate it. And I'll
side to
call you.
save.
I'll call you later in the week. I'll pick your brain about some of this stuff, and you
Thank
can give
you.
me some pointers. And I appreciate it very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair.
Mr. Harding.
Yeah, I was almost through, but I have a question that came up.
Go ahead.
Will all our eggs be in the same basket?
Yes, your eggs all in the same basket now, though.
Yeah.
I'm basically just replacing the basket. The eggs are still staying together.
But you had to go to different chicken coops to actually get the eggs. It's just the fact that what I'm hearing is the fact that we're packing it all in, and we're going into this, and as we're going forward, are there any safeguards that we're going to have to actually protect ourselves, perhaps for the first 3 years?
So, for instance, all the data is going to be backed up to a different individual cloud. So if something happens with their servers, right? One, it goes on their cybersecurity insurance, not ours. Huge deal. Two, if it does happen, they basically cut rope, bring it back up, import the new system, make sure it's now we might lose a day or two, depending on when the last backup was. But that alone in the IT world is a huge deal. To be able to have a backup that you can cut rope from and just move on to a new system and go for it, because it's going to be a cloud server, which we don't have many here. I wish we had more. They're much easier and safer to manage. Way more cost effective in the long run. But that's what happened in that case.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Mr. Voisin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, sounds awesome. I would want everybody to have this software. I just wanted to come up and say why I'm not going to support it. For the same reasons I didn't support the dollars going to it initially. We made a promise publicly to the people that every dollar of that money was going to be spent on roads, sewage, and infrastructure, drainage. And not following through with that promise, I can't support anything that this money's going to be spent other than those things, even though it did pass. Uh, that's just where I stand. I can't support anything where we tell the people one thing and then change our minds and do something differently for whatever the reason might be. For whatever the reason might be, short of a catastrophe that occurs where that money maybe had to go somewhere else. Uh, it's not. It's not the ideal situation right now. I get that, but I believe it's far from catastrophic at this point, and I can't support it due to that reason. I want y'all to have the software y'all deserve, but that's up to the administration to go hustle up the money, in my opinion, because that money was already dedicated by them to the public. Thank you.
That's a valid reasoning right there. I will say, drainage and roads have to pay a portion of the AS400 system, and with this, they would pay a significantly less portion because everybody has to pay into this because it comes from an internal service revenue fund. So would they still pay into it? Absolutely. They will pay a little bit less in the long run, which would then equate to more road and drainage projects. Just my 2 cents.
Well, I think we heard from 8 of the 9 council members up here. That leaves me. Bring up the rear. I want you to know I support it. Having been a user in my previous life on the school board of a program by Tyler Technologies, I saw how easy it is to retrieve information and get information almost at your fingertips. Yeah, and I also did a lot of checking, and all those governmental systems that you mentioned, they all use it. And of course, I would never tell Candace Malden no to anything. But my question, is it a fair assumption to say that once this system is fully implemented, that it's going to be so easy to use that even a parish president or a councilman could use it?
Yes, it would be. I feel like it's a double-edged sword. I feel like I just got written up. Yes, it would be easier. Like, this is Clyde. Why would you do that to me?
All right. Ms. Chauvin had to come back on me.
No, this is the first time. Robbie, What is the savings again?
About
Tell me what-
480 grand a year.
Okay.
Roughly.
Tell me-
I don't know the exact dollar amount. It's like
All right.
486, 380
Okay,
something.
that's per year, but you said that the old system is about to go out. What's
Yes.
the savings when we're looking?
So when it goes out, because you
Mhm.
still have to pay the 540, it's going to be about 480 grand a year we'll save after. That's on like, so you have the 500 we'll pay yearly. Once that system goes out, the AS400 system will just be paying the 500. So right now you pay about 980, so you'll save about 480. That's a little less. It's like 440-ish because it's 540 something. So you'll save about $440,000 a year, and that's just from like the direct costs in IT that we see, right, and that we look at and do everything. There's definitely more. It seems like every time we turn around, there's another software we forgot about to
Okay.
add to the list.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
you know, kind of let people know
Appreciate you.
again, have the last part. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Okay. Seeing no further lights, members vote your machine. The resolution passes,
Thank you very
Six.
much.
Hmm?
Thank you.
6 yays, 3 nays. Item 6, resolution declaring a surplus computer equipment, computers, telephones, office equipment, vehicles, food server, beer dispenser, I want that one, freezer, and supplies. Moved by Mr. Champagne, second by Ms. Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machine. Yes, for the record, I cannot buy the beer dispenser. Motion passes 9 yeas. Well, 8 yeas, excuse me. Item 7, resolution approve the state contract purchase of furniture for the Nest Small Business Incubator. Ms. Chauvin.
Thought we have to move
Well,
first.
do we have a motion? Moved by Mr. Babin, seconded by Mr. Amity, and we have a light from Ms. Chauvin.
Okay, so my question is, one, where's the money coming from? And I've looked at some of these prices. Where in the heck are they buying this stuff from? Have they not heard of like maybe Amazon? Or look, even purchasing it here. I just purchased like desk and chairs and planters. Do we really need that many planters? I mean, I started looking at this. I'm floored.
So,
Sorry,
Ms. Chauvin,
Candace.
I'm sorry, I just put a peppermint
I know.
in my
I'm
mouth.
sorry. I'm sorry.
The Small Business Incubator is part of our CDBG DR projects. And unfortunately, the procurement process that you have to go through, we can't just purchase the ones on Amazon. You got to get quotes and bids, and it's the easiest path to do the state contract purchase. As far as the needs of it and where it all falls, we would have to get in touch with Fletcher, who is the one that's helping us put together this NEST program, and have that discussion with them. Because they are a subrecipient of this project for that.
Okay, I'm just looking at some of this. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, some of these numbers are like just way out the box for me to be okay with. So, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Mr. Harding.
I agree with Ms. Chauvin. I think I saw a chair there for almost $800. And those prices,
Forgot what I was-
that's my thing. I just had to put my penny and a half in it. That's it.
Seeing no other lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yeas, 7 yeas, 6 yeas. 3 nays. All right. Um, Item 8, resolution award the request for proposal 26 UTLTS-22 electric utility labor, equipment, and support service. Move Mr. Harding. Second, Mr. Babin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes 8 yeas. Item 9, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget and 2026 budget positions of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items: Fire Department budgeted positions, and Fire Department, $23,381, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, July 29th, 2026 at 6:30 PM. Moved by Mr. Harding, Mr. Babin, and seconded by Mr. Champagne. We have 2 lights. Mr. Harding.
I see the chief out there.
Good evening, Mark Stevenson, Fire Chief, City Homa.
Yes, sir. Of course, you know I'm concerned, and we know Captain Driver. And could you explain the move and the reason for the move? I just want to just put it out there.
So the first move you see is the elimination of the admin tech position. That's a secretary position. So as you know, Ms. Kim retired after 37 years. We've been training someone for the past 4 to take her place. Now that Ms. Kim retired in April, Ms. Shelby's moved up. So we're just eliminating that other position as Shelby's learned what she needed to learn over the 4 years. So we're eliminating that salary. With Ms. Kim being here for 37 years, her salary wasn't at an entry level. She was at a much higher level. Shelby was brought into the basic, she's not an office manager like Kim was because she doesn't supervise anyone. So that position is moved down to a executive secretary position. So her salary is going to match an executive secretary position. So there's a great amount of savings from Ms. Dupre's salary that we're gonna keep by eliminating that initial admin tech and from Shelby getting a less pay for what Ms. Kim did. Okay, and then we're eliminating the training officer's position just in name per se. So I was the last training officer. Currently, position is not filled. They're going through the process civil service wise to fill that position. But I've been talking with administration. In my rank as training officer, I didn't only deal with the training side. So I was the only person, or that position is also an administrative position to help deal with other administrative functions as with the fire chief. So we have the deputy chief who needs to focus on the suppression side. The deputy fire chief deals with the suppression side, and the training officer dealt with the training side by adding this admin chief position. Some of the things that the deputy chief does, like with budget, finance, procurement, things like that, instead of him being able to focus on suppression, he has to do all of these other things, which allows, as you know, 3 different shifts, 3 different groups. He can't focus on the suppression side and making sure that those guys have what they need with maintenance issues or training issues or whatever we need with that. By making the chief of admin, we're going to remove that load from that person and shift it to the chief of administration. So in essence, the extra stuff that the training officer did and the extra stuff that the deputy fire chief does is going to be pushed to the chief of admin, and the deputy fire chief is going to deal with suppression, and the deputy of admin will deal with admin. So he's going to supervise maintenance, hazmat, inspection, and the basic office personnel, and also help me be able to do the payroll requirements and do all of that stuff while the suppression chief is focusing on the 50 guys we have out in the field.
Basically, you take the training sheet and just separate and get 2 people to do the training sheet we used to have.
So the training side will go to the deputy chief of suppression. That's still going to be handled by him and the district chiefs. And then all the administrative function that person would do is going to switch to the deputy chief of administration. So they don't have to split. It's going to be it's shared duties, so we have a place for him not to have to stop doing suppression stuff. He can focus on the guys, and somebody else be able to do that admin stuff to keep the department running and functioning.
And one more thing. I didn't get a chance to say congratulations to Miss Kim, and it seemed like she was there for almost 50 years. But I'm doing so now. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Babin.
Yeah, Chief, in your professional opinion as a fire chief, this is gonna make you much more efficient,
Much more.
and it's gonna save us $23,381 a
At the
year.
end, it is going to be cheaper,
Yes, thank you.
more cost effective, I should say. There we go.
Okay, seeing no further lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes, 9 yeas. Congratulations, Chief. Item 11, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 10. Oh, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following item: Louisiana Commission on Law Enforcement, LCLE, $21,500, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, July 29th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Moved Ms. Chauvin, seconded by Mr. Babin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes, 9 yeas. Item 11, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following item: Houma Police Department, $1,801, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, July 29, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Moved Ms. Chauvin, second Mr. Babin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes, 9 yeas. Item 12, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget and the 2026 five-year capital outlay budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following item: Bayou Terrebonne vegetation and debris removal, $585,928, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, July 29th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Moved Mr. Amity, seconded by Mr. Champagne. Two lights, Mr. Trosclair.
Yeah, good question. Why are we de-obligating this money from vegetation?
Yes, sir. This was a specific grant that we received from NRCS from Hurricane Francine. And we were able to do the scope of work that was part of the grant that we received, and we can't do any more work related to it. So we have to de-obligate it because we're not going to get it. We're not going to be able to do any more work or get any more reimbursements. So we have to take it out of the budget.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, it wouldn't let us use it other places.
Mr. Harding.
I was with Mr. Trusclair. I was just trying to figure out whether we were losing something, and then we can't gain nowhere else, so we just actually lose it. Okay, for me and to like understand, and the people that might be out there concerned about the $585,928, how we come about getting this money, and how do we not be able to use it?
So we did use some of the money. We have done the work that needed to be done through the grant. And if you give me a minute, we have spent about 727,000 towards it. So after Francine happened, we had this opportunity with NRCS to come up. It was through some work with FEMA and GOSEP in order to apply for this grant. And we put in the scope of work where we knew that the most vegetation needed to be removed immediately after Francine, and we were able to do it with the $727,000 that they gave us. So initially they had said $1 million. was going to be what it was, and we had our match of 314,000, and we have finished the project, finished the scope of work, closed out the project, and we just have to deobligate the balance because we can't do anything with it, and we can't keep it in our budget because we can't use it. We have several other projects coming along the way on Terrebonne vegetation and debris through a Boat USA grant, as well as some CDBG DR. So we're still moving forward with vegetation and debris removal, but for this particular one and this particular grant, we can't use the funding anymore.
Yeah, I see it was saying like less prior year expenditures. Funds available was 623,000. Well, 600.
Correct, before we deobligate the 585.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mr. Lerat.
Thank you, sir. So also, this funding was specifically for storm-related debris. So it had to be leaners, hangers. It's not just lilies and vegetation. It had to be specific to the storm. We threw a bunch of different canals at this grant, hoping we can get them cleared, like Cancer Canal, Ringo Cock, a few others, but they weren't approved. So, but we still have those on our radar, and we want to use parish funds to clean those out, just not with this particular grant.
Mr. Trosclair.
Yes, Candace, you threw some numbers at me, got me thinking now. Okay, so we had a $300-something thousand match for the $1 million that we were approved. So we only spent roughly, say, $700,000. Did our match was still the whole 300,000 or whatever the match originally was, 300 some change, or does that reduce by the amount we had to send back?
So as I was throwing those numbers out there, I started questioning myself on that one too. So I have to go back to our reporting to see. I do believe they may have covered more than what we had expected. So we probably will have to come back to have this corrected whenever we determine what our match was. But I'll definitely let you know
Okay.
what our match was.
When you said it a while ago, it just,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay, seeing no further lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes, 9 yeas. Item 13, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget and the 2026 five-year capital outlay budget for the following item. Civic Center, $167,062, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, July 29th at 6:30 p.m. Moved Mr. Harding and seconded Mr. Amity. Seeing no lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes, 9 yeas. Mr. Babin, you want a light?
Yeah, Mr. Domingue is in the audience. If he could come up and maybe just give us a little explanation on, this is a new endeavor.
Hi, folks. Hillary Domingue, Director of Quality Life. This is monies from the Civic Center Development Corporation that was, put together years and years ago to bring events into the Civic Center from monies that had been raised through events, put into a coffer, and then turned around and used for events. This is specifically for an ice rink to come to the Civic Center for a 2-week period next Christmas. It's going to be for the public. It's going to be for private use for companies to have Christmas parties. We are going to have craft vendors there to be able to sell their wares. There's a lot of things involved in it. It's a big undertaking, but the cost of the ice rink itself is $167,000 for the 2-week period.
Mr. Pledger?
Well, the way my insurance is set up, I don't think I could go and do that, but,
Neither can I.
all right. Just a question for Ms. Candace. Well, I guess it's in the backup, so it really won't even matter. Because the executive summary says the Civic Center, what's the name of it? Development, it says, hold on, wait, sorry. Yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter because it says in the back that it's the Homa Terrebonne Civic Center Development Corp. Versus the Homa Terrebonne Development Corp. I guess it is. I mean, that's minor. That's not a substantial change or anything, just something that I noticed, but should be interesting. Thanks.
Thank you.
Ms. Malden? Or is that an old light?
No, I was gonna answer Mr. Pledger's question, but I don't know that I understood it or that he had one.
No.
I'm sorry.
You got a light?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in the back it says, back up it says, I'll read it exactly. On the actual ordinance itself or the mock ordinance, it says, wait, next one. It says, Homa Terrebonne Civic Center Development Corp. In the amount of 167, and that, from what I heard Mr. Domingue said, it says Homa Terrebonne Development Corporation. You see that? It says Civic Center Development Corporation. I don't know what the name is, but I'm thinking from what he said was Homa Terrebonne Development Corporation.
Oh, I see what you're talking
Sure.
about, sir.
No, you're good, Hillary. I think.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
just
know.
we have it Homa Terrebonne. It is the Homa Terrebonne Civic Center Development Corporation.
Okay, so it's Homa Terrebonne. Okay, Civic Center. All right, easy enough. Thanks. Will there be lessons before you actually get on the ice?
Everything comes with a cost.
Just one quick comment. I think this expenditure is going to be well worth it just to see the parish president in tights on the ice skating rink, skating with Miss Chauvin, a tutu. Seeing no further lights, members vote your machine. That motion passed 9-all. Consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government to adjust the 2026 adopted beginning fund balances and net positions to actual as per the 2025 audited financial statements, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, July 29 at 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Moved Mr. Babin. Second, Mr. Amity. Seeing no lights, members vote your machine. Motion passed 8 votes yeas. Item 15, consider the adoption of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget and the 2026 5-year capital outlay budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following item: Bayou La Carpe Drainage, low C, $1 million. It's a lock C, I think, huh? And call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, July 29, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Moved Mr. Harding, seconded Mr. Babin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes 9 yeas. I have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Amity, seconded by Mr. Champagne. Members vote your machine. Motion passes.
All right, notice to the public, if you wish to address the council, please complete the public wishing to address the council form located at the end of the counter and give it either to the chairman or the council clerk prior to the
beginning of the meeting. All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words and actions, and comments shall be limited to the issue and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. All electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. Thank you. I now call the meeting of the Community Development and Planning Committee to order, and I will do the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Loving and gracious God, help us keep the common good before us, strengthen our gifts of wisdom, courage, and respect for the views of others. Strengthen us to continue to work with our leaders, seeking an ever more just society that acts in harmony and interdependence with all creation. In the name of Jesus, in union with your spirit, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. All right. All right, item number one. Oh, I forgot roll call. I'm sorry,
Mr. Babin, Ms. Chauvin, Mr. Trusclair, Mr. Pleasure, Mr. Harding, Mr. Voisin, Mr. Amity, Mr. Champagne, Mr.
Here.
Hamner. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you. All right, item number one, a motion to amend the condemnation order originally adopted on January 27, 2026 on the residential structure located at 6623 Highway 56, Chauvin, Louisiana, owned by Michael Edward Parham, Linda Halbert Parham, and Carol Ann LeCompte by changing the deadline to complete repair, demolish, and/or removal from April 27, 2026 to August 7, 2026. Got a motion by Ms. Chauvin, second by Mr. Babin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. The vote was 7-0. Motion passes. All right. Item number two, a motion to amend the condemnation order originally adopted on February 6, 2024 on the residential structure located at 1215 Rousseau Street, Houma, Louisiana, owned by Advanced Home Construction by changing the deadline to complete demolition and/or removal from August 13th, 2024 to September 6, 2026. Got a motion by Mr. Pledger? Second by Mr. Amity. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Yeah. Vote is 8-0, motion passes. Item number three, a motion to amend the condemnation order originally adopted on January 27, 2026 on the residential structure located at 833 Bayou Dularge Road, Houma, Louisiana, owned by Larry Charles by changing the deadline to complete demolition and/or removal from February 27th, 2026 to July 31st, 2026. Moved by Mr. Babin, second by Ms. Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machine. Vote is 9-0, motion passes. Item number four, a motion to amend the condemnation order originally adopted on April 28, 2026 on the residential structure located at 100th South Boudreaux Street, Montague, Louisiana, owned by Willis Anthony and Marilyn Piku by changing the deadline to complete demolition and/or removal from June 28, 2026 to September 28, 2026. Got a motion by Mr. Trosclair, second by Ms. Chauvin. See no lights, members vote your machines. Vote is 8-0. Motion passes. Item number five, resolution authorizing the parish president to execute an agreement for professional traffic engineering services for a traffic impact study of the intersections of South Hollywood Road, Imperial Drive, and Louisiana Highway 31.
So moved.
And a motion by Mr. Hamner, second by Mr. Pledger.
And we have a couple lights. Mr. Pledger first.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This might be for Mr. Pulaski, but I don't know if you remember at the last MPO meeting we had, I had requested or asked the committee if we could look at the red light that's at Hollywood and 311, that outside lane, it only turns only turns right, where if both of those lanes would cross 311, it would help some of that traffic. Is that something we can kind of put in there?
I mean, I
Wait.
can't say.
Oops, sorry. There you go.
There you go. I mean, the traffic impact study will look at all factors.
All right.
So it'll look at movements, it'll look at timing of the light, all of that's gonna be part of it.
Now, my next thing would be, could we use that study and bring to the MPO?
Yes,
Because that's a state, the state would handle that on 311, right?
yes, sir. So DOTD and our MPO are both aware that we'd be conducting this study and we're prepared to share the findings with them.
Yeah, because I think that would help
Yeah.
out a lot, because, I mean, I'm sure everybody's been at that light and
Yeah.
it just kind of backs up there, so, okay.
Yeah.
Cool, thanks.
And Mr. Trusclair?
Yeah, this question's kind of vague, but my little feeble brain thought of it. We commissioned a study, which from all indications of all the feedback we've gotten from the residents and the people who travel, that is definitely needed. But what are our plans with this study? I mean, this study comes up and we need another bridge access, or what's the parish's plans on, or we just gonna wait and see what the study does and then try to put a plan after that?
Well, it's more like the latter, you know. We might get lucky and some of the recommendations to resolve a lot of the issues may just be a simple changing of the timing of the lights. But like Mr. Pledger brought up, anything that really happens at that 311 interchange is
Right.
gonna involve DOTD.
Right, and
The-
that was my thing. I mean, just from some of the concerns, and I don't travel there very often, so I don't really know the traffic problems in that area. But it seems that there's a lot of people really concerned about it. You know, just from what I've seen and heard around, in conversation. But it doesn't seem like just a simple change of lights is going to solve a
Well,
major problem.
Right. I mean, if the biggest challenges are at peak times, and from what we've heard, most of the issues are folks who are traveling on South Hollywood Road, say from the Tunnel Boulevard, Martin Luther King end, and they get to that 311 and making that left turn, because you can only get about 5 cars through that left turn.
Right.
So they end up stacking almost to the curve, which makes it difficult for traffic coming out of either side of Imperial Drive. Not to mention Imperial Drive is not like this, it's like
Correct.
this. It's like that crazy thing by Home Depot and Petco,
And
So-
Klondike.
Right, that too, yeah.
Okay, that's all. I just wondered if we had
Yeah.
something that we were looking at in case we needed it or something.
Right.
Thanks.
Ms. Chauvin?
So if we're looking at a traffic impact study and it's on, like one of our parish roads, but it's also a state highway, does the state put anything towards the traffic study? Do they pay a portion of it? Oh, okay.
We're sharing the cost with the developer in
Okay.
this instance.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Mr. Pledger?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, yeah, that was next.
Yeah. I do have a question. So I know we're doing the study because the new apartment, or we're doing the study because complex, or we're doing the study because we already have a problem?
Well, the study came about through the approval of the apartment complex. It was a condition of approval from the zoning commission. So we're doing this study because of that.
Right.
The problem exists now, even if the apartments weren't under
Right.
construction.
No, that's just gonna,
We're
exacerbate
worried
it.
it's gonna make it worse.
yeah, and is there any way to, to help an additional exit out of that apartment complex further down instead it doesn't come out where closer to the light?
We've looked at the possibility of a secondary ingress egress, even if it's just a right in, right out. But, that would involve, either a willing property owner, because it's all private property out there. We don't have any, right of way or anything right there. So, or the other word, which
Because it's gonna, yeah.
we don't want to do
I
that.
used to go that way a lot and it's gonna be bad. Mr.
Yeah.
Harding?
Yeah, this is definitely needed. I remember we were thinking about another location for the egress, but it wasn't likely. Then the opportunity when you actually coming on Hollywood Road going toward Tunnel, that's the issue there. Whereas it can be rather confusing right there also too. And it is something through the study that we definitely need. It would make the traffic flow much fluently if we can actually rectify that problem.
Yeah.
Good.
Mr. Pledger?
Yeah, Mr. Pulaski, since the developers sort of sharing that cost with the study being done, what if we find that there is a need to change something? Are they willing to, sort of help us out with that too, or?
I'm not going to speak for them, but I will say I'm not afraid to ask.
All right, that's the answer. Thanks.
Right, see no more further lights. Members, vote your machines.
I voted yes.
The tally is 8-0. Motion passes. All right, item number
Thanks.
6. Thank you. Resolution giving notice of intent to adopt an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the parish of Terrebonne so as to rezone from R1 Single Family Residential to R3 Multifamily Residential, 291 and 295 Ponteef Street, lots 10 and 11, Block 4, Ponteef Subdivision. I guess that's addition number 4. Homo, Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana, Barry Billiot and Reginald Patterson, applicants, and calling for a public hearing on said matter for Wednesday, August 26, 2026 at 6:30 PM. Got a move by Mr. Pledger and a second by Mr. Harding. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Motion passes 8-0. Motion passes. All right, let's see. Item number 7. Consider the introduction of an ordinance to authorize the temporary relocation of the polling places for Terrebonne Parish precincts 038, 041, and 081 from East Homa Branch Library to Oaklawn Middle School for certain election dates during the renovations to East Homa Branch Library to provide for required notices, filings, accessibility documentation, and related election administration, and to provide for related matters and call a public hearing on Wednesday, July 29, 2026 at 6:30 PM. Got a motion by Ms. Chauvin, a second by Mr. Pledger. See no lights, members, vote your machines. Motion passes 9-0. Item number 8. Consider the introduction of an ordinance amending the Terrebonne Parish Code of Ordinances to abolish the Parade Safety Committee and repeal and amend certain sections of the Code of Ordinances related thereto, and call a public hearing on said matter Wednesday, July 29, 2026 at 6:30 PM. Moved by Mr. Trosclair, second by Mr. Wazan. Members, seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Motion passes 9-0. Item number 9, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the parish code of Terrebonne Parish by adding to Chapter 18, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Article 4, Operations of Vehicles, Division 2, Parish, Section 18-91, B1, to establish a 15 mile per hour limit zone along the entirety of Rural Drive, Retreat Drive, and St. Agnes Drive to provide for the installation of said signs and to provide for other matters relative thereto, and call for a public hearing Wednesday, July 29, 2026 at 6:30 PM. Moved by Mr. Trosclair, second by Ms. Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Vote is 9-0, motion passes.
Motion to adjourn?
Got a motion to adjourn by Mr. Hammer, second by Mr. Amity. Members vote your machines. 9-0, motion passes.
Notice to the public, if you wish to address the council, please complete the public wishing to address the council form located on the end of the counter and give it to either the chairman or the council clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words and actions, and comments shall be limited to the issue and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. All electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. I'd like to call the meeting of the Public Services Committee of July 13th, 2026 to order. I'll be doing the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening, Lord, and we ask for your wisdom and guidance by your Holy Spirit as we conduct the affairs of the parish, Lord. We also ask, Lord, that your favor and blessings be upon all the citizens of Terrebonne Parish, and Lord, let this thing roll in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Miss Alicia, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Babin, Ms. Chauvin, Mr. Trusclair, Mr. Pleasure, Mr. Harding, Mr. Voisin, Mr. Amity, Mr. Champagne, Mr. Hamner. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, ma'am. Resolution to award the construction contract for parish president number 25-GAS-44 Crumbar area gas line improvements and authorizing the parish president and or his designee to execute the contract and provide for related matters.
Second.
Move, Mr. Harding, second by Mr. Hamner. Seeing no discussion, members vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries. Item 2 is a resolution authorizing the execution of change order number 3 for the construction agreement for parish project number 24-HVAC-11 HVAC renovations for the Terrebonne Courthouse and Courthouse Annex, Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana.
Second.
Move, Mr. Babin, second, Mr. Hamner. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. 8 yeas, 1 abstention, motion carries. Item 3 is a resolution providing for the acceptance of work performed by Volute, Inc. in accordance with the certificate of substantial completion for parish project number 24-HVAC-11 HVAC renovations for the Terrebonne Parish Courthouse and Courthouse Annex, Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana.
Move.
Move, Mr. Hamner. Second, Mr. Harding. Babin. Seeing no discussion, members vote your machines. 8 yeas, 1 abstention, motion carries. Item 4 is a resolution awarding and authorizing the signing of a construction contract to the firm of Nation Striping Company, LLC, for parish project number 20-ROAD-54 pavement markings project phase 3, Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana, and authorizing the issuance of notice to proceed to commence construction of said project.
Move.
Move, Mr. Hamner. Second, Mr. Babin. Mr. Trosclair.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I've got a question. It doesn't say anything to back up about what encompasses phase 3, what streets or roads. I've turned in restriping Aragon Road over 2 years ago. And, I actually have a road fund in Montague that would pay for it. It's been over 2 years. I've put in the work order and it still hasn't done. My question is Aragon Road on phase 3? Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Babin?
Yeah, I'd like to know the list of the roads that are gonna be on there, okay? Because I have southbound Mandalay Road that needs it extremely bad as well.
Mr. Lerat?
Thank you, sir. Hollywood Road between Tunnel and Main, Williams Avenue from the bridge to the church, Savan Road, Bayou Blue Bypass, Main Project Road, North Main Project Road, Sandry Center Boulevard at MLK, Corporate at MLK, Corporate at Tunnel, Aragon Road is what I have so far on this list.
Good, Mr. Babin?
Yeah, I didn't hear Mandalay, okay, yeah.
I'll go back, Danny, and we'll see. I'll
Okay.
double check to make sure that's
Ms. Chauvin?
right.
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering, because I put up Bayou Drive like 3 years ago.
It's a different project.
What project? What project would it be a part of?
Mr. Badger?
We're going to do that with the bond money.
Okay.
So I just think it's important to know, you know,
Fussing for nothing.
I'm not
looking at
fussing, I'm asking.
looking at the roads that we need striped. When I
That's
first
not
got in
fussing.
office, it was somewhere around $4 to $5 million. So we've been biting it off chunks at a time based on travel, how many vehicles travel, accidents, those whole things. Keep in mind, we're also close on getting our Vitalytic software study that we're doing is going to give us roads like condition, striping, signs, the whole 9 yards. And that's going to really allow us to categorize that. But we're going after roads that we could with funding every year. We're taking a bite out of the road striping that needs to get done, working to try to get around to everything. So just
No,
wanted to share that with you.
I appreciate knowing that, and, no, there's a big difference in my fussing, they would know.
Mr. Babin?
Yeah, I was unable to make the last meeting at South Central Planning. What's the latest on the equipment that they were gonna buy for striping, which I think in the long run will help all of the parishes involved?
Yeah, they're still working on that, as I understand, and to get a crew, get them trained, the whole 9 yards.
But they
And
bought
we've
the
had that
equipment?
conversation where once they get that in place, that
Yeah.
definitely will be an opportunity
So
to
I mean,
use
have they
that.
bought the equipment?
As far as I understand,
Okay,
yes.
and then it's in the training process now,
Yeah.
because I think that's gonna be very beneficial in the long run. Thank you.
Seeing no more discussion, members vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries. Item 5, a resolution providing for acceptance of work performed by TBT Contracting, Inc. in accordance with the Certificate of Substantial Completion for Parish Project number 23-PARK-86 Bayou Country Sports Park Infield Turf, Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Hamner. Second by Mr. Shumpine. Kim, put your light back on. I double tapped it. There you go.
Okay, so question, is this the contractor that cost us the extra time? Okay, are we going after? Would they have cost us extra?
We still have the option to do that. So we have, just because we're issuing the substantial completion, all that does is stop the contract. They still have to go through the punch list. Once we're done with the punch list, we're going to address, the bottom line, and we're going to make a determination on how we want to proceed with that. So we have the time to do that. We haven't made that determination yet, but we still got to go through the punch list and figure out where we're going to end up at.
Okay, thank you.
It's still on the table, Kim.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. Harding?
And yes, I thank you for giving me the answer for the question I've been trying to get for a little while. The answer for how much money we spent on the Bayou Country Sports Park, roughly $17 million since 2012. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Seeing no more discussion, members vote your machines. 8 yeas, motion carries. Item 6, a resolution awarding and authorizing the signing of a construction contract to the firm of U.S. Aqua Services LLC for parish project number 25-RAMP-19, Lake Shin Living Shoreline Project, Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana, and authorizing the issuance of the notice to proceed to commence construction of said project. Moved by Mr. Trosclair, second by Mr. Wazan. Seeing no discussion, members vote your machines. 9 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries. Item 7, resolution providing for the approval of change order number 1 to the North Wastewater Treatment Plant Ultraviolet Disinfection Project, Parish Project number 23-SEW-01. Move, Mr. Harding, second, Mr. Babin. Seeing no discussion, members vote your machines. Nine yeas, zero nays, motion carries. Item 8, resolution ratifying the appointment of the engineering firm of T. Baker Smith LLC to provide engineering services for the Vicari Sewer Force Main Replacement and Vicari Sewer Lift Station upgrades. Moved by Mr. Wazan,
Second.
second by Mr. Hamner. Seeing no discussion, members vote your machines. People of Wilkshire are gonna be excited for that.
Motion to adjourn. Nope.
9 yeas, 0 nays. We have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Hamner, second by Mr. Harding. Members vote your machines. We are adjourned.